Lindsie Chrisley plans multi-podcast response to family documentary allegations. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Lindsie Landsman, the eldest daughter of Todd Chrisley, will publicly address her family's recent Lifetime documentary. She plans to share her side of the story across several podcast episodes. Her response comes directly after the airing of the Chrisleys' Back to Reality. Landsman, who recently changed her surname, claims the documentary contains significant inaccuracies. She alleges she experienced threats and blackmail from family members. Her decision to speak now is a direct rebuttal to the series' claims, addressing inaccuracies and alleged blackmail. "I never had any intention of doing this. The Lifetime documentary of my family came out, and a lot of the things that were aired were inaccurate depictions of what has transpired," Landsman stated, according to Deadline. The docuseries highlights the family's many public challenges and legal issues. It specifically focuses on Landsman's past involvement with authorities. In the documentary, her sister Savannah Chrisley claimed prosecutors read a letter Lindsie wrote to the FBI. Her brother Chase also made pointed comments about family betrayal. Landsman previously contacted Georgia's Department of Revenue and the FBI after her father's indictment. She also requested a restraining order against Todd Chrisley. She informed authorities that her father attempted to exploit her during his legal troubles. She has publicly claimed that Todd Chrisley threatened to release a sex tape. This alleged threat was an attempt to force her to lie in court for him. These serious allegations form the core of her upcoming podcast revelations, a multi-platform storytelling approach. The first part of her response will air on her podcast, The Southern Tea, on October 22. A second installment follows on Coffee Convos, which she co-hosts with Cale Lowry, on October 23. A third exclusive part will be released on Patreon on October 24. Landsman will discuss the emotional and psychological impact of these family struggles. She aims to reclaim her narrative as a daughter, woman, and mother. Her co-host, Cale Lowry, will moderate these deeply personal conversations. For the first time, she will present documentation to support her claims. This includes unpublished legal letters, emails, and official filings. She intends to provide tangible evidence for her statements. Landsman appeared in 5 seasons of Chrisley Knows Best before estranging herself from the family. Last month, she explained her decision to adopt her boyfriend's surname, Landsman. She said the Chrisley name had become problematic for her business and personal life. Lindsie Chrisley's podcast series promises to offer a direct counter-narrative to the recent documentary. Her detailed account could significantly reshape public perception of the long-running family drama. The Chrisley family appears to be preparing for a massive public response after recent allegations surfaced in a highly publicized documentary about their legal battles and personal lives. According to sources close to the family, Savannah Chrisley is reportedly planning a multi-podcast series on her platform, Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley, aiming to address what she describes as distorted narratives and unfinished truths portrayed in the latest documentary. The move marks another chapter in the ongoing saga of the Chrisleys' attempt to control their public narrative following Todd and Julie Chrisley's convictions and ongoing incarceration. Savannah Chrisley, who has become the family's central spokesperson since her parents' imprisonment, has never shied away from confronting controversy head-on. Her podcast has been a platform not only for emotional transparency, but also for defending her family's reputation against public criticism and sensationalized media portrayals. Following the release of the new documentary that delves into the Chrisley family's rise and fall, Savannah reportedly feels compelled to share her side of the story and clarify what she calls gross misrepresentations about her family's history, finances, and internal relationships. The forthcoming podcast response will reportedly be divided into multiple episodes, each tackling specific claims made in the documentary. Topics expected to be covered include the portrayal of Todd and Julie's parenting, their faith, their financial decisions, and the ongoing speculation about internal rifts among family members. Savannah has hinted that she intends to bring receipts, evidence, and even previously unheard audio clips to provide her listeners with a more nuanced perspective on what life inside the Chrisley family was truly like. While Savannah's bold approach is nothing new, this multi-podcast response is shaping up to be one of her most ambitious projects yet. Those close to the Chrisleys describe her as determined, fiercely protective, and unwilling to let outside narratives define her family's legacy. She has already teased upcoming guests, including family friends, legal experts, and potentially even her siblings Chase and Lindsie, whose strained relationship with the family has been a focal point of public interest. Though it remains to be seen whether all family members will participate, the idea of a unified Chrisley voice could significantly influence how the public perceives them in the wake of renewed scrutiny. The timing of this podcast series is particularly significant. The Chrisleys have been under the microscope ever since their 2022 conviction on charges of bank fraud and tax evasion. Todd and Julie's ongoing incarceration has fueled endless speculation about their family dynamic, faith, and finances. With Savannah taking over guardianship of her younger siblings and stepping into a leadership role, she has become not only the public face of the family but also a media figure in her own right. Her ability to navigate the intersection of fame, controversy, and personal struggle has drawn both admiration and criticism, making every statement she makes a headline-worthy event. Savannah's decision to address the documentary head-on suggests she believes silence would be more damaging than confrontation. The Chrisleys have long maintained that they were wrongfully portrayed and unfairly targeted by the justice system. For Savannah, the podcast serves as both an emotional outlet and a strategic move to reclaim control of the narrative. Insiders close to the production of Unlocked describe the upcoming episodes as emotional, deeply personal, and sometimes confrontational, hinting that Savannah plans to call out not only producers of the documentary, but also individuals who contributed to spreading misinformation. The announcement of the planned response has already created waves within the entertainment community. Many believe Savannah's approach could reignite public debate over the family's treatment by the media and legal system. Others question whether the move will help the Chrisleys restore credibility or simply reopen old wounds. Yet those familiar with Savannah's persistence note that she has repeatedly proven her ability to turn adversity into opportunity. Her past episodes, particularly those featuring conversations with her imprisoned parents, have drawn millions of views and downloads, suggesting a loyal audience eager to hear her truth directly from the source. One major focus of the upcoming podcast series will reportedly involve clarifying misconceptions about Todd Chrisley's role in the family's finances and faith life. The documentary reportedly painted him as manipulative and controlling, but Savannah is expected to counter that depiction by highlighting his generosity, leadership, and faith-driven motivations. She has repeatedly emphasized that her father remains strong and spiritually grounded despite the harsh conditions of prison life. Similarly, Julie Chrisley's portrayal as complicit and submissive is another point Savannah intends to challenge, arguing that her mother's strength and grace have been vastly underestimated. Savannah is also expected to address the family's ongoing struggles with media sensationalism. She has previously stated that the constant spotlight has often distorted reality, leading people to form opinions based on edited footage or biased reports. In her new episodes, she plans to contrast media narratives with private family moments that reveal a more balanced view of who they are. This strategy aligns with her long-standing philosophy that authenticity and transparency can eventually outweigh tabloid drama. In addition to defending her parents, Savannah will likely tackle her own portrayal in the documentary, which some critics described as emotionally detached or opportunistic. those close to her insist that she has carried an extraordinary emotional burden, raising her siblings, maintaining her career, and managing her parents' legal affairs, all while being judged by millions. The podcast will reportedly showcase not just her defense but also her vulnerability, offering listeners a glimpse into the toll that public scrutiny has taken on her mental and emotional well-being. The Chrisleys' willingness to confront the allegations head-on signals their intent to remain relevant in the public conversation. Far from retreating, Savannah's strategic media response reflects a family committed to defending their identity and reputation. It also demonstrates the growing influence of podcasts as a modern-day tool for public relations, allowing personalities to bypass traditional media filters and speak directly to their audiences. In Savannah's case, Unlocked has evolved from a personal project into a platform for truth-telling, advocacy, and self-reinvention. However, not everyone sees the strategy as a purely positive step. Some observers worry that reviving these discussions could backfire, keeping the family's legal troubles in the headlines longer than necessary. Others argue that it's a calculated move to sustain interest in their upcoming television ventures, including the rumored return of the Chrisleys to reality television through a new series currently in development. Whether this podcast series is a defensive reaction or a promotional campaign, its impact is likely to be substantial. Savannah's message remains consistent. Her family has been misunderstood, and she won't allow that misunderstanding to define their legacy. Her resilience in the face of adversity has inspired fans who view her as an example of strength amid scandal. For others, her refusal to let go of the public stage suggests an ongoing struggle to balance fame with authenticity. Yet regardless of opinion, Savannah's influence is undeniable. Each episode of her podcast has shown that she understands how to command attention, frame narratives, and connect emotionally with her audience in a way few reality stars can. As the release of the podcast series approaches, anticipation continues to build. Listeners are eager to see how Savannah frames the allegations, what new details she may reveal, and whether any family reconciliation will occur in the process. The Chrisley story has always been defined by its mix of glamour, faith, and controversy, and this next chapter seems poised to continue that tradition. For Savannah, this series represents more than just a rebuttal. It's a statement of purpose. By taking control of her family's narrative through her own media platform, she reinforces a message of independence, courage, and faith. The Chrisley's story, in her words, is far from over, and this podcast response may well redefine how their legacy is remembered in the years to come. If the Chrisleys have learned anything from fame, scandal, and public judgment, it is that silence often breeds misconception. Savannah's plan to speak out boldly and publicly suggests that she sees transparency as her family's best weapon against distortion. Whether listeners ultimately view her message as redemption, defiance, or self-preservation, one thing is certain: the Chrisleys are not done telling their story, and this time they intend to tell it their way. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.